Coming into PHP, what is PHP in the sense? Most of the people will say like personal home page, whatever it may be. But the thing is, PHP stands like pre-hypertext processor. What is pre-hypertext processor and all that stuff will be discussed very soon. And this is used for application development, not for the website development only. It is used for application development, web application development. Things will be Web application development will be done with the help of PHP technologies. What are the concepts we will cover in this course? In the sense, we will cover about HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, MySQL, and PHP. And coming into this PHP, what is PHP in the sense? Pre-hypertext language. Pre-hypertext processor. We already have a word about this also. Why we are calling it as a PHP? Pre-hypertext processor in the sense we have web pages. Those web Yeah, we have web pages. All those web pages will be developed with the help of HTML technology. It's a scripting language for developing web pages. Just a moment. Yeah, HTML. HTML is for developing web pages. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and this hypertext markup language is used to develop your web pages. By using HTML, you can develop web pages. After all, developing your web pages, you need to make your web pages looking good. For making looking good, you need to use CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. Cascading Style Sheets. Uh, by using this cascading style sheet, we will make our web pages very much good in terms of look and feel. After completion of this look and feel and after completion of the web pages, you need to make sense. You need to make interact with your server. Server in the sense database engine. Server in the sense database engine that we use MySQL. In our PHP technology, we use MySQL is a database server. MySQL is our database server. To interact with your MySQL database server from your HTML pages, we need forms. We need forms. What is a form in the sense? To submit any kind of data from your web pages, that will be possible only through forms. These forms will be made with the help of HTML scripts. You know about the HTML script of we will discuss about all the stuff of what is form, what is HTML tags and all the stuff. Initially, just we need to know about how to interact with the web pages from your how to interact with your servers with web pages means interaction will be done with the help of forms only. From your web pages to you want to interact with your server is that is possible only through forms. The forms will be developed with the help of HTML. Suppose, for example, consider Gmail. For example, consider Gmail. How do you get your Gmail ID? In the sense, you need to prepare. You need to submit your details to Google server. You need to submit your details to your Google server. How can you submit your Google server? How can you submit your details to your Google server? In the sense, by using form. In that form, What all the elements will be there in the sense? First name, there will be a text box, then last name, there will be another text box. After that, you have to choose desired email id. After that, select after that select a password. With all these details, you need to submit yourself to Google server. How the data will be processed in the sense? First name, there will be a text box. Last name, there will be a text box. Email, there will be a text box. Select a password, there will be a text box. All this stuff will be developed with the help of HTML. It is called input type equal to text. This is HTML element. With the help of HTML element input type equal to text, you will get a text box on your web browser. Once this text box is filled with a name called, whatever it may be the name, first name will be Zaira. Once you have entered your first name, then you need to enter your last name like PHP. You have to enter your email ID jram php @ gmail.com. Password would be 1234567889. This is your details. Once clicking on your submit button, once entering these details into your form, and after filling all these details in your registration form, just need to click on this submit button. Once you submitted the details, the details will be sent to your server. The server is MySQL database engine. The server is MySQL. Once you submitted your details to your server, means the details will be sent to MySQL. How and what happens by clicking on this? See, we have a form. For example, consider it as a form. In this, you need to mention your first name. With this, there will be a text box. there will be a text box. So we need this kind of different text. Madam, with this, there will be a different types of text boxes like first name, last name, email ID, password, and all those stuff have to be defined. In this, you need to fill the details like first name, like this. You need to fill the details like this. You need to fill the details. Once completion of the details filling, you need to submit your details here. By clicking on the submit button, all the details whichever you have entered in the text boxes, those details have to be submitted into the server. Server in the sense which we already discussed. Server means server means database. The database will be contains MySQL engine. So we are passing the details from this web form to MySQL database server. So what will be happening in the background is the details which you have entered is all the details are in the format of hypertext. As you know that text boxes will comes onto your screen with the help of input type equal to text tag. It is developed with the help of HTML. So the text which you have entered Jairam PHP and Jairam PHP at the rate of gmail.com, all this stuff will be entered into the place of this one. The names and all the stuff, email, all the things will be treated as values of these HTML elements. Values of these HTML elements. So whatever it may be, you have entered a text called Jairam, you have entered a text called PHP, you have entered your email ID, you have entered your PH password. All this text will be treated internally treated as hypertext. All the internal text information will be treated as all the text whatever you have entered on the browser internally treated as hypertext. What will happen is this hypertext may not understand to your server. The server is MySQL database engine. The MySQL database engine will not understand your hypertext. So what you need to do is process you should process your hypertext instructions before going into the server. Before placing your data into the database engine, you need to process your hypertext. So what is the stuff and what is the logic behind developing an application with the help of PHP in the sense initially you need to connect with the database engine with the database called MySQL. With the database MySQL, once connection is created, you need to process what you are processing in the sense hypertext. Why? Because the instructions will be send in the format of hypertext only. Why? Because the web pages will be developed with the help of HTML. HTML means hypertext. You have entered your details in the web form. Those details will be treated as a values of this particular web form. So the hypertext, you need to process this hypertext, and this information will be converted into database known format. Till now, the data is in the format of hypertext and MySQL. MySQL is the database. It knows only SQL. SQL stands for Standard Query Language. So the language knows to the MySQL is SQL, but we are submitting the instructions in the format of hypertext. So what you need to do in the sense, you have to convert that hypertext into server or SQL known format. Before storing the details into the database only, you need to convert it into the database known format. That's why we are calling PHP as pre-hypertext processor. What we are doing in the background, in the sense, we are processing the hypertext and store into the database. We are processing the data, we are processing the hypertext. When we are processing, in the sense, before storing into the database only we are processing. That's why we are calling it as a pre-processor hypertext or pre-hypertext processor. It's a server-side scripting language. Why we are calling it as a server-side scripting language? In the sense, when we are when we are interacting with the server, in the sense, we are having the database engine. The database engine only we are calling database server or web server, whatever it may be. Server side scripting language, in the sense, when we are interacting with the server, then only the script is coming into the picture. That's why PHP is also called as server side scripting language. So with this session, you should get an information that we will discuss about HTML, CSS, and client-side validation purpose. We use JavaScript, client-side validation purpose. We use JavaScript. Once this front-end part is application is developed, we have to create database interaction with the help of MySQL database engine. After this, the interaction part with the HTML and MySQL will commence with the help of PHP. So these are the topics we need to discuss about PHP learning methodologies. These are the technologies called web technologies. Why we are calling it as a web technologies? In the sense, this would be, these applications, whatever the application we are developing with the help of PHP, those things will be executed in the browser itself. Browser contains only web related information. That's why we are calling these things are called as web technologies. So once all these things are done, this will be our PHP course. All these things will take at least 35 days duration. After completion of our PHP sessions, we are complimentary giving you CMS technology introduction, WordPress. It is completely complement for the online learning students. online technology learning students, we are offering this CMS introduction. WordPress will be complementary, completely complementary technologies we are offering. All this stuff will be takes 35 days of duration. Daily 1 hour class will be there. If you are having any kind of problems, we will have a discussion about the discussion about your queries and all the stuff also there. So don't worry about the subject wise and all the stuff. Thanks for this opportunity.